if I could help with the panel. It talked about intentionality. How do we intentionally bring Providence into our world? Now, I'm graced and gifted to be in a CDP-sponsored community at Providence. But that doesn't mean that I don't have the responsibility every day of looking at how I speak to my students, how I speak to my coworkers, how I plan a lesson with Providence in mind. And it may be in, for example, just recently working with girls planning a semi-formal, planning some of the decorations that they had, some pictures and some things they wanted to put up for their ads. We looked at them and I said, ladies, let's look at these images. Do these say something about Providence that we don't want to say? And the girls looked and they made a decision for themselves. But they know perfectly well that that's going to be part of a decision-making process among us as a sophomore class. When my job as a CDP liaison means that my administration looks to me, sometimes they will specifically ask me, do you think this is in line with the Sisters' charism? Is this in line with what Providence should be doing? If we're introducing, for example, we picked a new AP environmental science. It is perfectly in line with the Sisters' idea of stewardship of the earth and helping that teacher become aware of that. Because he's not Catholic, he's relatively new to our school, and it's a case of being available and open to answer their questions. But it means that I take on for myself a certain responsibility to learn more. Whether it's in these groups that are here, whether it's reading more about the sisters. Right now we have a prayer group started that every other week we sit down and we actually look at part of the Constitution or part of the teachings of Moy, some passage or some quote from him, or some other passage or quote from some other, perhaps a general meeting in the summer, so that we can reflect on how the sisters view certain things and how we can, as a Providence community, view these. And then, again, it's myself. My prayer life, my belief in a provident God, my belief that, as I tell the students, God does not leave you alone. You may run as far as you want away from God, and if you turn around real quick, you're going to smack into him because he's running right along with you. You know, but they're at an age where it's hard for them to think about God in that way. But yet you know that if you say it enough, that when they're hurting, or when there's some major catastrophe in their life, that they're going to remember that we told them that God was with them. What I also try to help them understand is that when you are aware that God has been in your life and is there, please remember to say thank you. But I think intentionality means that we have to grow ourselves as members, as associates. We have to deepen our understanding of the sisters, their faith. I'm always, I'll say to one of the sisters, even to Sister Lourdes, you grew up with this idea. I'm trying to learn it as I go along. And so the more we can talk to the sisters that are here, the more we can understand their experiences, what brought them to Providence. The better we understand how Providence works, because I can read it in a book, but I can so much better learn it from a person. So I think intentionality means how can we create opportunities to learn more about Providence, to learn more about the charism sisters, and to learn more about the stories of the sisters. Thank you.